Have you ever felt like you're reading too slowly, not absorbing enough, or forgetting what you read too quickly? You're not alone. Many of us struggle with these issues. But what if I told you that reading is a skill you can improve with the right techniques and mindset? Welcome to our video summary of How to Read a Book, a guide to reading comprehension for general readers, by Mortimer J. Adler and Charles Van Doren. First published in 1940 and updated in 1972, this classic guide remains the definitive resource on mastering the art of reading. Before we dig in, let's get to know quickly about the authors of this book to have a bit of context. Mortimer J. Adler was a renowned American philosopher, educator, and author. Adler made significant contributions to the field of philosophy and education throughout his career. He was a prominent advocate for the Great Books movement, which emphasized the importance of reading and understanding classical works of literature, philosophy, and science. Co-author Charles Van Doren was also an American writer and editor, best known for his work as a literary scholar and educator. Van Doren held a PhD in English from Columbia University and had a distinguished academic career. He was also a member of the editorial team for the Great Books of the Western World series and contributed to numerous literary and educational projects. His collaboration with Mortimer Adler on How to Read a Book remains a testament to his dedication to promoting reading and intellectual engagement. Together, Adler and Van Doren combined their expertise to create How to Read a Book, a comprehensive guide aimed at improving reading comprehension and fostering a deeper appreciation for literature and learning. This is the subject of our book summary today. However, it is not our intention to just summarize this book, but hopefully to share some insights to encourage you wherever you are in your journey of book reading. In this video, we'll explore the essence of the art of reading, why the art of reading is essential, the 4 progressive levels of reading, effective approaches to reading different kinds of material, the ultimate goal of reading, and reading as a way of life. The essence of the art of reading. In How to Read a Book, a guide to reading comprehension for general readers, Mortimer J. Adler and Charles Van Doren emphasize that reading is not just a mechanical process, but an art form that requires active engagement and critical thinking. The art of reading goes beyond merely decoding words. It involves comprehension and interpretation, and ultimately understanding the deeper meanings within a text. The authors argue that reading should be an active engagement or process where readers interact with the text, ask questions, and seek to understand the author's intentions and arguments. Active reading transforms the reader from a passive recipient of information to an active participant in a dialogue with the author. Critical thinking is crucial to the art of reading. This involves not only understanding what is being said, but also evaluating the validity of the arguments and the quality of the evidence provided. Readers should approach texts with a questioning mind, ready to challenge and reflect on the ideas presented. True reading involves deep comprehension and interpretation. Adler and Van Doren highlight that reading for understanding requires readers to grasp the main ideas, themes, and structure of a text. It also means interpreting the nuances and subtleties that the author conveys through language and style. Why the art of reading is essential. The art of reading is essential for intellectual growth, effective communication, cultural and emotional enrichment, and lifelong learning. The art of reading fosters intellectual growth by exposing readers to new ideas, perspectives, and knowledge. Through reading, individuals can expand their understanding of the world, develop their critical thinking skills, and become more informed and thoughtful individuals. Being proficient in the art of reading enhances one's ability to communicate effectively. By understanding and analyzing well-written texts, readers can improve their own writing and speaking abilities. They learn how to construct coherent arguments, present ideas clearly, and engage in meaningful discussions. The art of reading enriches one's cultural and emotional life. Through literature, readers can experience different cultures, historical periods, and emotional landscapes. This not only broadens their horizons, but also enhances empathy and emotional intelligence. Reading is also a lifelong skill that supports continuous learning and personal development. In a rapidly changing world, the ability to read critically and adapt to new information is invaluable. The art of reading empowers individuals to keep learning throughout their lives, staying informed and adaptable. By mastering this art, readers can unlock the full potential of their reading abilities and transform their relationship with the written word. Now let's see the 4 progressive levels of reading. In How to Read a Book, A Guide to Reading Comprehension for General Readers by Mortimer J. Adler and Charles Van Doren, the authors outline 4 progressive levels of reading that enhance one's ability to understand and engage with texts more deeply and effectively. Each level builds on the previous one, developing more sophisticated reading skills and comprehension. Here's an elaboration on each level. Level 1 is the elementary reading. This is the most basic level of reading, which involves decoding the text to understand what it literally says. This is the foundation of all reading skills, typically learned in early schooling. The primary goal at this level is to answer the question, what does this sentence mean? It involves grasping the surface-level content of the text without delving deeper into its significance or implications. For example, a child reading a storybook and understanding the basic plot and characters. The skills involved in this stage 1 are recognizing words and sentences, understanding basic grammar and syntax, and comprehending the literal meaning of the text. Level 2 is the inspectional reading. Inspectional reading, also known as skimming or pre-reading, involves quickly going through a text to get a general idea of its structure and main points. This level is about efficiently grasping the essence of a book without reading it in its entirety. The primary objective of inspectional reading is to answer the question, what is this book about? This level is focused on understanding the structure and gist of the text, which helps in deciding whether a more thorough reading is necessary. For example, flipping through a nonfiction book to see if it covers topics relevant to your research or interest. Skills involved in this level 2 reading are skimming through titles, headings, and subheadings, reading introductions, conclusions, and summaries, and identifying the main ideas and key arguments. Level 3 is the analytical reading. This level 3 or analytical reading is designed to deepen the reader's engagement and understanding of a text. The authors provide a comprehensive guide to analytical reading by breaking it down into 3 distinct stages. We will cover the objective, cite relevant questions to ask while reading, and give example for each stage of analytical reading stage. Analytical reading stage 1. The objective of this stage is to understand the primary theme and structure of the book. In this analytical reading stage 1, it is helpful to answer these relevant questions. What is the overall purpose of the book? What are the main divisions of the book? And how do these parts contribute to the book's central argument? For example, when reading a history book, you might identify that it is about the causes of the American Civil War, with sections on political, economic, and social factors. The key activities or skills needed in this stage 1 include 1. Classifying the book. What's the genre and subject matter? Is it fiction or nonfiction? What broad category does it fall into? For example, history, science, philosophy. 2. Summarizing the main themes. Identify the central idea or thesis of the book. What is the author's primary message or argument? 3. Outlining the structure. Break down the book into its major parts and understand how these parts fit together to support the main theme. Look at the book's chapters and sections to see the flow of arguments and ideas. Analytical reading stage 2. The objective of this stage 2 analytical reading is to grasp the arguments and understand how they are constructed. Questions to answer in this analytical stage 2 are: what are the major assertions made by the author? How are these assertions supported by evidence or reasoning? And are there any underlying assumptions or premises that the author relies on? For example, in a philosophical text, you might identify the author's main argument for the existence of free will and note how they address counter-arguments and use thought experiments to support their claim. The key activities or skills needed in this stage include 1. Identifying key arguments and concepts. Look at the main points the author is making and how they are developed. Pay attention to definitions, explanations, and examples used. 2. Understanding the author's reasoning. Analyze the logic and structure of the arguments. How does the author support their thesis? What evidence is provided? 3. Making connections within the text. Relate different parts of the book to each other. How do individual chapters or sections reinforce the overall argument? Analytical reading, stage 3. The objective is to critically evaluate the book's content and arguments. Therefore, asking the following relevant questions can help. Are the author's arguments logically sound and well supported? In other words, is the book true, in whole or part? Is the evidence credible and sufficient? And what are the strengths and weaknesses of the book? For example, when evaluating a scientific book on climate change, or say a social science book, you might examine the data sources, the methodology used in studies cited, and the author's interpretations to judge the overall credibility and significance of their conclusions. 3 key activities or skills needed in this stage are: 1. Assessing the validity of the arguments, that is to identify the author's purpose and thesis. 2. Evaluating the evidence and reasoning. Consider the quality and relevance of the evidence presented. Is it convincing? Are there alternative interpretations? 3. Reflecting on the meaning and significance of the content. How does this book contribute to its field? Does it offer new insights or challenge existing beliefs? Overall, the analytical reading is a deep and thorough reading where the reader engages critically with the text in order to answer the question, what does the book mean? This level requires understanding the book's arguments, evaluating its merits, and considering its significance. This process involves a detailed examination to fully understand the book's content, arguments, and implications. Level 4 is the syntopical reading, or comparative reading. It involves reading multiple texts on the same subject and synthesizing the information to gain a broader and deeper understanding. It is the most complex level of reading, which is required in the graduate school and for all research projects in any field. The objective of this Level 4 reading is to answer the question, how does this topic integrate across multiple sources? This level is about constructing a new framework of understanding by integrating information from various texts. The skills involved in this level include identifying relevant texts and sources, comparing and contrasting different viewpoints and arguments, synthesizing information to form a comprehensive understanding, and developing new insights or theories based on the synthesis. For example, conducting a literature review for a research project where you compare findings from multiple studies and develop your own conclusions. As we can see, these 4 levels of reading are progressive, such that one builds on the other. By progressing through these levels, readers can develop from basic comprehension to advanced critical thinking and synthesis, enhancing their ability to engage with and understand complex texts and ideas. By following these stages, readers can move beyond surface-level understanding to a deeper, more critical engagement with the text. This process helps in not only comprehending what the author is saying, but also evaluating the significance and truth of their arguments, leading to a more nuanced and informed perspective. This book also delved into the effective approaches to reading different kinds of material, such as practical books, imaginative literature, history books, science and mathematics texts, philosophical and social science texts. The approaches to reading any kind of book depends on various factors and context. However, 3 major approaches include structural reading, interpretive reading, and critical reading. The structural reading approach. This approach focuses on understanding the framework of a book. It involves identifying and outlining the main and subordinate parts and understanding how they relate to each other. The objectives of this approach are to see the book as a structured whole and to identify the hierarchy and relationship between different parts of the book. The interpretive reading approach. This involves delving into the author's intentions and meanings. This requires asking questions about the text and seeking answers within it in order to understand the deeper meaning and implications of the text, and to grasp the author's purpose and viewpoint considering the historical, cultural, and intellectual context in which the book was written to better understand the author's perspective. The critical reading approach. This involves evaluating the arguments and conclusions presented in the book to assess the validity and soundness of the author's arguments and to determine the book's overall contribution to its field or subject matter. By progressing through structural reading, interpretive reading, and critical reading, readers can develop a comprehensive and nuanced understanding of any text. This structured approach ensures that readers not only grasp the surface-level content, but also engage deeply with the text's underlying meanings and critically evaluate its arguments and contributions. The ultimate goal of reading. Reading is a transformative process that involves gaining insight and wisdom through deep understanding and engagement with the world. It is not just about absorbing facts or information, but also about reshaping our perspectives, values, and actions. This leads to personal growth and a deeper understanding of life's complexities. The ultimate goal of reading is to apply the knowledge from text to our lives, enriching our thoughts and actions with deeper meaning and purpose. Adler and Doren emphasize the intellectual, emotional, and spiritual benefits of reading, arguing that it is a lifelong pursuit that contributes to personal growth and development. Reading enhances cognitive abilities, fosters critical thinking, and encourages readers to become more active and demanding in their reading habits, seeking challenging texts and striving for deeper understanding and insight. Reading as a way of life. Reading should be seen not just as a pastime, but as a fundamental way of living. It's a continuous conversation, a dialogue that transcends time, space, and culture. Reading is a dynamic interaction between the author and their sources, the author and their editor, and ultimately, the author and their readers. Through feedback and discussions, facts evolve into nuanced ideas, making the narrative more human and relatable. This process transforms reading from a solitary activity into a communal exchange of ideas and experiences. Books allow us to connect with people from different cultures and eras, fostering empathy and understanding. Through stories that stir our souls and insights that resonate with our struggles, we learn about the infinite diversity of the human experience. This connection makes us more sympathetic, empathetic, and alive as we recognize our shared humanity. Reading enlightens and elevates us, deepening our understanding of the world and making us wiser individuals. It enriches our lives with creativity, challenges our assumptions, and broadens our horizons. By engaging with text critically and thoughtfully, we gain a richer appreciation of the beauty and complexity of the world, becoming more fully human. Reading is a lifelong journey of growth and discovery. Every book is an invitation to expand our horizons and join the collective human experience. Treat each book as a companion on this journey, a source of inspiration, and a conversation partner that helps you grow. In conclusion, reading is not just a hobby or pastime, it is a way of life. By learning to read actively and critically, we gain wisdom, insight, and a richer appreciation of the world. Embrace reading as a means to become more fully human, enlightened, and empathetic. Treat every book as an opportunity to grow and expand your horizons. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. We'd love to hear from you. Share in the comments what books you've read lately or what books you're excited to read next. Join us on this lifelong journey of discovery and transformation through reading. Thank you for watching.